Hi, Krista Mashore, Homes by Krista. Today we're going to be interviewing Silky Sonnen with the law offices of Silky Sonnen. She's a divorce attorney here in Brentwood, and she's going to be telling us when you have real estate involved and you're going through a divorce, the 3 things that you need to be made aware of throughout the divorce. And she's also going to be talking about how important it is to have neutrality, and also trust in the people that are working with you throughout the divorce. Okay, so tell me exactly, Silky, what should people that are being divorcing, should they expect throughout the divorce process with you?
Right. So in California, we have something called a community property state. So that means that all your assets and all your debts need to be divided 50-50. One of the best assets a party has is a home, and we call that the family home. And when you have to sell a family home, you need to make sure that 3 criteria are met.
Okay. Which are?
First, you need to make sure that you know what the value of your house is, and that's done typically by an appraiser.
Now, is that done typically at the time of the divorce? So at the time when they separate, that's when it happens with the value, or
it happens is somewhere between the 6-month period.
Okay.
So you have a 6-month statutory period before you can get a divorce. So we have 3 options.
Okay.
Sell the house, buy out the other party's interest, or keep the house.
Okay, so meaning how can they keep the house?
They can keep the house if they agree. If they think that the market is going to do better in the next, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, they can keep the house until that time.
And they just divide up the expenses?
They just divide up the expenses, yeah.
Okay.
So those are your options.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the first one is, again, figuring out what it's worth.
Figure out what it's worth.
And how do they do that?
They hire an appraiser.
Okay. So it's a realtor is not sufficient enough. You actually need a certified appraiser.
You do need a certified appraiser, yes. And then you find somebody that's a neutral, so not necessarily somebody, his cousin.
Either person knows, exactly,
right.
Yeah.
So that's your first step. Then after that document comes back, you know what the value is. Then you say, okay, now let's get to the options of what to do with the house.
Gotcha, okay.
So once you've made that decision, and if you are going to sell the house, then it's very important to find the right realtor who's going to sell that house.
Gotcha, okay.
And what I mean about that is you want somebody who has lots of experience, You don't want to give the house that you're fighting over to a brand new realtor. Okay.
It's very stressful selling a house, and add a divorce into it, and it gets even crazier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's somebody that can deal with clients who are in a stressful situation. Okay. It's also somebody who has experience selling homes and has sold multiple homes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I'd say the third criteria is somebody who can calm the parties down.
Oh, you must do a lot of that, calming the parties down.
Yes, I feel like I'm a therapist.
Yes. So the difference too, what I've noticed, as an attorney, your objective is to take care of just one person. So you are fighting for your client, right?
Yes.
And the other party is fighting for their client.
Right.
And so when selling a house, when choosing the right professional, that professional really has to be very, very neutral, and their interests are for both parties.
It does.
So it's a very, very different dynamic than what you're used to.
Right, right. And that all plays itself out in the sense that we can tell when a realtor is a neutral versus private emails that I see between one party and the realtor.
And they show you, I'm sure, so if that's happening. Yeah,
they do.
It's very good you say that, because I tell my clients, anytime if I've done a lot of divorces, that I say, anytime, one of you wants to speak to me, if you call me, that's not a problem, but I'm always going to follow up our phone conversation with an email to all parties that shows that we discussed.
And that's exactly what needs to happen, because I'm not going to lie. As soon as I see a realtor talking to the other side without me involved, I am all over that. And
so let me ask you this, though. This is one thing that I want people to really understand, is that I notice that sometimes during divorces, the parties are so angry at each other that they end up wasting money and they end up wasting time. So what they do is, instead of just trusting in their advisor that they chose to represent them selling the house, they end up fighting amongst themselves. So everything has to go to the to the attorney.
To the attorney,
yes.
Right. And that's not a good idea.
So it doesn't have to. If they have an attorney, a real estate person they trust, everything can go directly through the real estate agent without having to involve the attorneys, which will save them a lot of money.
Yes, and all the realtor has to do is just give us a follow-up.
Exactly.
This is what happened. Hopefully this is great. If you have a concern, let me know. 9 out of 10 times we're not going to have a concern because the realtor knows what they're doing.
Yes.
As long as the realtor has the knowledge and experience
and the neutrality
to deal with divorces, then there shouldn't be an issue. So it's better for the parties to work together.
Give me an idea of the type of money that you've seen people waste by fighting over this.
I mean, we have multiple cases that are, that I call horror stories. I have a client who spent $70,000 to sell a house that was worth $40,000.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's terrible.
That just doesn't make any sense. And even if I keep telling them this doesn't make sense,
sometimes the emotion
is just so raw at that point that they can't overcome it.
Okay, so what is your advice? You've already, number one, said pick a good professional.
Yes.
Make sure you trust, obviously, that both parties trust their attorney.
Yes.
And the attorney has their best interest,
Yes.
trust the right respected realtor who has experience. And what else can they do in just regards to the home sale?
They need to listen to the realtor. When the realtor,
thank you for saying that, yeah.
When the realtor says, hey, we need to clean out this mess, listen to the realtor. When the realtor says, let's stage the house, listen to the realtor. This person is a professional who knows how to sell a house. Yes,
to attain them the most money, and sometimes they're so mad at each other they don't want to do what the other party wants, when it ends up costing them money.
Yes, and they don't look at the big picture. The big picture is to get the most value for the house.
And to sell as quickly as you can.
Quickly as you can.
In the right manner.
Yes.
Got it.
So really, it's all about trusting the people that you've hired to do the job, okay? They need to know that we are both looking out for their best interest.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And the difference, again, is that you're looking for the best interest of just your one client,
Right.
whereas the real estate professional really is looking at the best interest of both
clients.
So it's very important to have someone they both trust and they feel good about.
Right. And if you have that, if you have a realtor who is truly a neutral and is helping both clients, then that realtor is giving the proper advice. And
Absolutely.
that's what they need to trust.
Okay, that was great advice, Silky. I mean, the reason I wanted to have you on there is because there are so many divorces, and unfortunately, it's not a great topic to talk about. But
It's not.
I see people wasting so much money, and I want to make sure that they know, coming from a professional like you, who just is doing so great, what to look out for. And I also want to say this to people: if anyone is going through a divorce and they want an attorney who's very caring, but also is a pit bull, she's your gal. I mean, I have heard nothing but great things about you. Your reviews are amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me here
Okay,
today.
I'm glad that you're awesome. So the next segment that we're going to have you in is going to be talking about just more about the overall divorce.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks,
All
Silky.
right.